Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are diving even deeper into A Course in Miracles.
Ooh, deeper.
I
Love
know,
it.
right?
Okay.
Specifically, we're looking at Lesson 65.
Okay.
And get this, it's all about discovering your own personal superpower.
Really
I know, right? Your divinely appointed function.
interesting. So it's like it builds on what we talked about yesterday with lesson 64,
Yeah.
recognizing that spark of divinity within everyone.
Absolutely.
So this is like, okay, now what? How do we act from that awareness?
Right, exactly. So we've leveled up.
Yeah.
We've gone from perception to action.
Nice.
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this divine function, though. That sounds pretty epic.
It is. And it might be different than what you think.
Okay.
Lesson 65 suggests that each of us has a unique purpose,
Mm-hmm.
a specific function designed by, a higher power.
Okay.
But here's the twist.
Oh.
It's not about worldly achievements or fame or fortune.
So we're not talking about becoming the next CEO or social media star. What is it about then?
Yeah.
What does this divine function actually look like in practice?
At its core, it's about extending love and forgiveness.
That sounds simple,
Right.
yet incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
Like, how do I extend love to that coworker who constantly steals my lunch from the fridge?
That's a great example. That's where things get really interesting.
Oh.
It's easy to extend love when things are going well.
Right.
But what about those tricky situations? Those everyday frustrations? Lesson 65 suggests that those are the real opportunities to flex our divine function muscle.
So instead of fuming about my missing lunch, I should be sending love vibes to the lunch thief.
Well, it's definitely a mindset shift.
Okay.
But think about it. That coworker might be struggling with something that, we don't even know about.
That's true.
Maybe they're going through a rough time, or maybe they simply forgot their lunch and they were desperate.
Yeah.
Choosing to see the situation with compassion, even a tiny bit, can change the energy of the whole thing.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
Okay.
It's about choosing a different response, even
Yeah.
when it feels tough.
Right.
But it can't always be about grand gestures of forgiveness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Does Lesson 65 apply to the smaller stuff too?
absolutely. That's actually a really important point.
Sure.
Lesson 65 isn't just about those big dramatic moments.
Yeah.
It's about bringing that same awareness of love and forgiveness into the everyday, even the seemingly mundane.
So we're talking about things like holding the door for someone,
Yeah.
letting another driver merge in traffic, or just genuinely listening when a friend needs to vent.
Exactly. When we view those everyday actions through the lens of Lesson 65, they become expressions of our divine function,
Yeah,
little opportunities to extend love and connect to something bigger than ourselves.
I love that. It makes those small acts feel a lot more meaningful.
Yeah.
Like every moment has the potential for a mini spiritual practice.
And that's exactly what this lesson is all about, recognizing the potential for purpose in every interaction, no matter how small.
Okay, so we've established that this divine function thing is pretty powerful stuff.
Yes.
But how do we actually do it? Does Lesson 65 give us any practical tools to put these ideas into action?
It absolutely does, and that's where things get even more exciting.
Okay.
It's not just a philosophical concept. It's about taking action and integrating these principles into our daily lives.
All right. I'm ready to dive deeper into these tools.
Okay.
What does Lesson 65 suggest we do to actually live out this divine function?
One of the most powerful practices that it offers is daily reflection.
Okay.
Take a few moments each morning to meditate on the idea of extending love and forgiveness.
So we're talking about actively setting the intention for the day.
Exactly. It's like prepping your mind to approach each situation with a more compassionate and understanding perspective.
I can already see how that would be incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
Especially before facing a day full of meetings and deadlines.
And here's another tool that goes hand in hand with that daily reflection affirmations.
Yeah.
Lesson 65 encourages repeating a specific phrase throughout the day. My only function is the one God gave me.
It's so simple,
Yeah,
yet it feels so powerful.
right.
It's like a constant reminder of our true purpose.
And it can be incredibly grounding, especially when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or simply lost in the busyness of life.
Yeah.
It's like a gentle nudge to bring you back to that core principle of extending love and forgiveness.
Okay, I'm already feeling inspired to incorporate these tools into my routine.
Good.
But let's take it a step further.
Okay.
What if everyone, like everyone in the world, embraced this idea of divine function?
Oh,
I know, right?
right.
What would that look like?
That's a fascinating question to consider.
Right.
Imagine a world where every interaction,
Yeah.
every decision was rooted in love and forgiveness.
It's almost mind-blowing to think of it.
Yeah.
It could completely transform the way we relate to each other, to
Yeah.
ourselves, to everything.
Exactly. Our relationships, our communities, even our global conflicts would be approached from a completely different perspective.
Right.
It's a vision of a world where compassion and understanding are the driving forces behind every action.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
Yeah.
But realistically, is that even possible?
Mm.
I mean, we all know the world can be a pretty messy place.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Lesson 65 doesn't offer any easy answers or quick fixes,
Right.
but it does suggest that change starts with each of us.
Okay.
It's about making the choice to align with our divine function, even in the smallest moments, and trusting that those choices will create a ripple effect that extends outward.
So it's not about changing the world overnight, but about changing our own little corner of it.
Yes.
It's about shifting our own awareness and actions one interaction at a time.
Exactly. And that's where the true power lies.
Okay.
By focusing on our own transformation, we become part of a larger movement, a collective shift towards a more loving and compassionate world.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected and that our individual choices have the power to create a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this seemingly simple idea of divine function can actually be a catalyst for profound change.
Yeah.
I'm curious to dive even deeper into the practical applications of Lesson 65.
Okay.
What are some specific examples of how we can extend love and forgiveness in our everyday lives?
Let's explore that. I think you'll find that the lesson offers some really concrete and relatable examples of how to put these principles into practice in all kinds of situations. So one of the most powerful tools Lesson 65 offers is this guided visualization exercise.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
It involves imagining your day unfolding. Yeah.
Exactly. It's about taking a few moments each morning
Okay.
to visualize yourself moving through your day
Okay.
with the intention of extending love and forgiveness.
It sounds like a really powerful way to set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
Kind of like giving yourself a pep talk.
Yeah.
But instead of focusing on achievements, it's all about cultivating this specific energy.
That's a great way to put it. You're essentially priming your mind to approach every interaction, every situation with that lens of compassion and understanding.
So instead of getting caught up in the usual stress and to-dos, you're starting your day with a deliberate focus on extending love and forgiveness.
Yeah.
I can already see how that could have a huge impact on how your day unfolds.
And it can even extend beyond just your own experience.
Oh, really?
When you approach your day with that kind of energy, it subtly influences those around you as well.
It's like you're setting a more positive and compassionate tone for everyone you encounter.
Exactly. And then there's the affirmation practice we touched on earlier.
Right.
Repeating the phrase, "My only function is the one God gave me," throughout the day.
Yeah, I love the simplicity of that affirmation. It's so easy to remember.
Yeah.
And yet it feels so profound.
It's a powerful reminder that helps you stay connected to that core purpose. Even amidst the busyness and chaos of everyday life. You might say it on your commute,
Right.
while you're waiting in line, or even when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
It's like a little anchor that brings you back to that sense of peace and purpose whenever you need it.
Right.
I'm already starting to see how these tools can be so helpful in actually integrating these principles into daily life.
And what's really cool is that Lesson 65 doesn't just tell us to extend love and forgiveness.
Right.
It actually gives us specific examples of what that might look like in everyday situations.
Okay, I'm all about practical examples.
Okay.
Give me some scenarios where I can actually apply this stuff.
Let's say someone cuts you off in traffic.
Okay.
Instead of getting angry or frustrated, you could choose to simply let it go.
Yeah.
Maybe you even offer a silent blessing for the other driver,
Oh, wow.
hoping they have a safe journey.
Right. It's like turning that potentially negative experience
Yes.
into a moment of practicing forgiveness.
Exactly.
Instead of reacting with anger,
Yeah.
you're choosing a more compassionate response.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all human, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we're just having a bad day. Extending a bit of grace can make a huge difference.
Okay, that's a great example for dealing with strangers.
Yeah.
But what about challenging situations with people we know, like a difficult coworker? How do we apply Lesson 65 in those cases?
Well, imagine you have a coworker who's constantly complaining or gossiping.
Right.
Instead of getting sucked into that negativity, you could try to understand where they're coming from.
Okay.
Maybe they're feeling insecure or overwhelmed, and
Yeah.
that's how they're coping.
So it's about choosing empathy over judgment.
Exactly.
Instead of labeling them as difficult or annoying,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to see the situation from their perspective.
Precisely. And that shift in perspective can make all the difference.
Okay.
It allows you to approach the situation with more compassion and understanding,
Yeah.
which can sometimes even diffuse the tension altogether.
These are great examples, and I think what really resonates with me is this idea that even the smallest actions
Yeah.
can be expressions of our divine function.
Absolutely. It's not just about grand gestures of forgiveness or heroic acts of kindness.
Oh.
It's about those little things we do every day. Holding the door open for someone,
Mhm.
offering a genuine compliment, truly listening when someone is talking.
Right, those seemingly insignificant actions we often rush through or don't even think about.
Exactly. But when you view them through the lens of Lesson 65,
Yeah.
they become so much more, they become opportunities to extend love,
Right.
to connect with others, and to fulfill your purpose in a very real and tangible way.
I love that reframing. It makes you see the potential for purpose in every single moment.
Yeah.
And it takes the pressure off feeling like you have to do something extraordinary to make a difference.
And you know, the amazing thing is that it's not just about the impact you're having on others.
Right.
Extending love and forgiveness also has a profound impact on you.
Oh, yeah.
When you approach life with this mindset, it shifts your whole energy.
I can imagine. You'd probably feel more peaceful,
Yeah.
more joyful, more connected to yourself and the world around you.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves,
Hmm.
and that by choosing love and forgiveness, we tap into that interconnectedness and experience a deeper sense of belonging and purpose.
Okay, so let's say I'm totally on board with this whole divine function idea.
Yeah.
But realistically, how do I actually start integrating it into my life? It still feels a bit daunting to think about putting all of this into practice.
That's a great question, and it's something that even people who have been studying A Course in Miracles for years continue to grapple with.
Really?
It's not a one-time realization,
Yeah.
but an ongoing practice.
So where do I even begin? How do I take these concepts and turn them into tangible actions?
Start small. Pick one thing from this lesson that really resonates with you
Okay.
and commit to practicing it for a week.
Okay.
Maybe it's the guided visualization or the affirmation practice, or maybe it's choosing forgiveness in one specific situation that's been bothering you.
So it's about making it manageable, breaking it down into smaller steps instead of trying to overhaul my whole life overnight.
Exactly. And remember, progress over perfection.
Yeah.
You're going to stumble, you're going to forget.
Right.
You might even have moments where you revert back to old patterns.
Yeah.
But the key is to keep coming back to this idea of your divine function.
Okay.
Keep reminding yourself that your true purpose is to extend love and forgiveness, even when it feels challenging.
I think what's really clicking for me is that this isn't about becoming a better person in some self-improvement kind of way.
Right.
It's about aligning with something much bigger than myself,
Yeah,
about tapping into a deeper source of love and wisdom.
that's a beautiful way to put it. It's about recognizing that we are not separate, that we are all connected by this universal energy of love. And when we choose to align with our divine function,
Yeah.
we're essentially choosing to tap into that energy and let it flow through us.
Okay. I'm ready to go even deeper with this.
Okay.
How about we explore that guided visualization in a bit more detail?
Sure.
I'm really curious to experience it for myself.
Absolutely. Let's take a moment to really immerse ourselves in that practice and see how it can help us align with our divine function.
Okay, I feel like I have a much better grasp on this whole divine function concept now.
It's been a fascinating exploration for me, too.
Yeah?
You know, it's one thing to read about these concepts in the book,
Right.
but it's another thing entirely to actually talk about them and try to apply them to real-life situations.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like those ideas have really come alive through this conversation.
Yeah, and I think what's really resonating with me is the emphasis on small actions.
Yeah.
The idea that we don't have to wait for some grand opportunity to express our divine function.
Right.
It's about finding those opportunities in the everyday moments, the seemingly insignificant interactions.
Exactly. It's like we've been empowered to find purpose and meaning in the most ordinary aspects of our lives.
And it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up each day with the intention to extend love and forgiveness, even when it's challenging.
That's so liberating. It takes the pressure off of having to be some kind of saint or a spiritual guru.
Right. It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress.
Yeah.
We're all learning and growing and stumbling along the way.
Okay, so we've talked about the individual benefits of embracing this divine function,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to explore the ripple effect.
Okay.
What happens when we extend that love and forgiveness outward?
hmm
How does it impact the world around us?
That's a great question. And it takes us to the heart of what Course in Miracles is all about.
Okay,
It's not just about personal transformation.
right.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness
Yeah.
and understanding that our actions have a ripple effect on the world around us.
So it's like we're all part of this intricate web of energy, and our choices influence the entire system.
Exactly. And when we choose love and forgiveness, we're essentially sending out positive vibrations that can uplift and inspire others.
It's like we're creating a more harmonious and compassionate world, one interaction at a time.
And the amazing thing is that it doesn't require grand gestures or heroic efforts.
Right.
It's about those small acts of kindness, those everyday moments of grace that can have a profound impact.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I'd love to leave our listeners with something tangible, something they can take away and apply to their own lives.
That's a great idea. How about this? For the next week, I challenge you to choose one specific situation where you can practice extending love and forgiveness.
Okay, I love that challenge. It could be anything from letting go of resentment towards someone who's hurt you
Right.
to simply offering a kind word to a stranger.
The key is to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Make a conscious choice to approach that situation with a different mindset, with a heart full of love and compassion.
And notice what happens.
Yeah.
Notice how it feels.
Good to hear that.
Notice how it impacts your interactions and your overall well-being.
And if you're feeling brave, share your experience in the comments below. We'd love to hear about the ripple effects you're creating in the world.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on life and my role in it.
And I hope our listeners feel the same way.
Yeah.
Remember, you have a unique and powerful gift to offer the world.
Mm-hmm.
Your divine function is waiting to be expressed.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
And remember, the world needs your light. Shine brightly.